Good evening. I'm Captain David Feldmeyer, Commanding Officer of District 5. Welcome to District 5's November Crime and Safety Meeting. We had a nice short-lived run, but a well-attended run of in-person crime and safety meetings. Unfortunately, the recent surge in COVID-19 has forced us all to abandon those. The department has come out with a suspension of all crime and safety meetings in person, so we are doing this one virtually. And I appreciate all of you who are taking your time out to join us. Thank you all who have attended in the past, and we look forward to seeing all of you coming up in the future. Today's crime and safety meeting, on the agenda, we have some safety tips that we will be issuing as we go into the winter months and into the holiday seasons. We will be talking about some of the crime statistics that we have for the month of October. And of course, we will give you some emails to be able to give us feedback or any questions that you might have. As we move into the winter months and into the holiday season, we are seeing an uptick typically of packages and things of that nature that are being taken off of people's porches. So we ask all of you to be very vigilant with your surroundings, with yourselves, and for your neighbors. So we have a few tips, a few suggestions that we have that maybe we can protect ourselves from having those items taken. We look at installing front door security cameras. Many times we find that if an individual sees that there's a security camera, they're deterred from wanting to go up onto that property and take things. Posting warning signs obviously alerts people that you're watching. Let your neighbors know that they're watching, that you're watching. Consider installing a package theft alarm. There are several of those models that are out there. I'm sure you can go on Amazon or look them up on the internet. Installing parcel boxes near your front door or back door. Large boxes that resemble like the ones that you would put the paper in of the past. These are larger to accommodate larger packages that you might get delivered. They're lockable, they're securable, they're weatherproof, and it makes it very difficult for an individual to take those packages. In fact, many times when somebody sees that on the porch, they move on to the next place. Sending packages to a secure location like a P.O. box or having them sent to the post office is an option. Schedule your packages to arrive when you are home. Many times there are options as to delivery time, or if you track a package through an app on your phone or on the computer, you can time out when that package is going to arrive and maybe either have yourself or someone you know and trust be there to take delivery of that package. Installing motion activated spotlights and cameras, again, another way to deter those types of crimes. As you're out and about during the holiday season, we find that many people are carrying lots of cash to spend time out, restaurants, shopping, things of that nature. It makes us vulnerable and easy targets sometimes for those who are engaged in robberies. So make sure that we're keeping aware of our surroundings, that we're paying attention to the people that are around us. Sometimes if you're seeing somebody that we've had November days that are in the 70s, mid 70s, kind of like what we've had over the last couple of days, and you see someone wearing heavy clothing that would be more toward a colder winter day, it might pique your interest a little bit, and just pay attention and be aware. People loitering on bus stops or loitering on your block. If you have someone loitering at the bus stop and you've seen the bus pass 2 or 3 times and that person hasn't gotten on, that should kind of pique your curiosity and make you a little bit suspicious that maybe there's something more going on. We encourage all of you, if you see something like that happening, please contact the police department. Give accurate, full descriptions if possible. You can tell the person on the other end of the line that you don't want officers to your house, but it really helps us if you give us a number that we can call you back and maybe gather some more information. And of course, you always have the option of remaining completely anonymous. Make sure that you're keeping an idea of the descriptions of the people around you. Join your neighborhood block watch program. There's obviously safety in numbers, and they can pass on information to you, and you can pass on information to your neighbors that might be pertinent. If there's a suspicious car, or suspicious person that's maybe been hanging around the block, that you guys can all kind of keep an eye out for each other. Staying off your phone as much as possible. I know we're kind of glued to our phones. We use them all the time. They're very convenient, but they can also pose as a safety risk. We're not watching what's happening around us. You might get pickpocketed, or you could have someone snatch your purse because you're not paying attention. And there's some safety concerns as well. You know, we've got driving issues in the city, and we don't want to see somebody step off a curb and maybe not be paying attention and end up getting hurt somehow. Keeping the earbuds out of your ears, or at the very least, if you're going to wear them, keep the volume down so that you can hear what's going on around you. Walking in pairs or in groups, again, like I said, there's strength in numbers. Someone who is looking to commit crimes is less likely to do it to a person that's in a group as opposed to someone being by themselves. Make sure that when you do plan on traveling, that you're looking for the safest route, well-lit routes, routes where there's lots of people, so that you have witnesses that if something were to happen, can either help you, maybe intervene, or at the very least can be good witnesses for the police should they need to be called. You can set up your iPhone or your Android with apps on how to find your phone, let somebody know where you're going, what your intended time of arrival is, and they can kind of keep track of you, check on things, stay in contact with you just to make sure that you get to and from where you're going in a safe manner. Obviously, if any incident occurs, we would welcome you to call 911. Again, make sure that you're keeping good descriptions of things that are happening so that we can best help investigate and then possibly prevent further crimes from happening. We have the Bike Index program that we run out of our CPU at District 5. If you contact District 5 CPU, they can give you information on that. Obviously, as we go into the winter months, people aren't riding their bikes as much, and we're not out there. But it's definitely something that you want to get involved with, because we do have burglaries that happen now as the weather starts to turn. And many times, if you're storing your bike in a storage shed or in the garage, it may end up becoming an item that is stolen. So please contact District 5 and give you that information. Joining the Nextdoor app is another way to kind of keep yourself informed and connected. Your neighbors might be on it. You can pass information to and from you and the neighbors. They can alert you to things that are going on, happening in your neighborhood. The police department puts out a lot of information using the Nextdoor app so that it keeps all of you and your neighbors informed. And it's just a good way to communicate, kind of keep an eye on and keep track of what's happening in your neighborhood. And now we'll go on to the crime analysis. Some of our crime numbers for October. We've been busy. We've had a busy October. We've had many busy months this year. Our 6-week look at some of our crime numbers is actually trending in a positive direction. Those numbers that are in green are good. It means that we've had reductions in the numbers, that are in red, the little boxes that are in red are not so good. It means that we're having increases in particular types of crimes. So in our 6 week, and I just want to point out the 6 week, we've had a reduction in our homicides and our aggravated assaults, which includes everything from pointing a weapon to threatening someone to physically assaulting them to even shots fired or people being shot. So we've had a reduction in that. We've had reductions in robberies, burglaries, thefts, motor vehicle thefts, arsons, and overall, we've had a 27% reduction in all of those crimes for the month, or for the last 6 weeks. And that's from October 25th to October 15th, and then from October 16th through November 5th. Yearly, we've had some increases. As all of you know, we've had a violent crime spike. We've had increases in our aggravated assaults and our homicides, but we've had decreases yearly in our rapes, our robberies, our burglaries. We've had an increase, a small percentage increase in our theft. We've had a basically no increase. It's stayed about the same for our motor vehicle thefts, but that typically we start to see a spike in that as the weather starts to turn, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. And we've had an increase in our arsons. But for the year overall, we've had a 1% decrease now, or increase. It's a small number, but hopefully we can get that trending, that box green, and with all of your help, and with the tenacious investigations and preventive measures that the police department is putting out, hopefully we can all have a reduction overall yearly, but we had a 1% increase. Hopefully we're trending in the right direction. Those are some of our aggregate crime numbers for District 5. And then we're going to look at some of the more specific types of crimes. For our burglaries for the month of October, we had a total of 32 burglaries. 8 of them were garages. We had 20 of them were residential, 3 businesses, and 1 church. As the winter months come upon us, we find that we have individuals that are seeking out things like snow blowers, things that are kept in garages, so please make sure that you configure your garages so that we don't have people being able to easily take those types of things. I know they're expensive to try to replace. Sometimes we find them, but many times we don't. So just be aware of that. Motor vehicle thefts. We had a total of 76 motor vehicle thefts in October. 31 of those motor vehicle thefts were taken with keys. So as the winter months approach us, we talked about this in our last crime and safety meeting. Make sure that we are avoiding starting our cars with our keys and then trying to run inside and stand in the front window. That's not a very good preventative measure. It only takes a couple of seconds for an individual to get into your car, and now they have your keys and they can drive off. Investing in a remote start, where after the car has been started, it has mechanisms in place that unless the key is in there, the person cannot drive off with your vehicle. Those types of purchases really help curb motor vehicle thefts. Sometimes we may just have to be uncomfortable and get in our cars while it's running so that someone's deterred from trying to come and take it. So just keep that aware. Obviously we get that spike as the winter months come upon us. So please be vigilant, be aware. Next category is robberies. We had 32 robberies. 19 of those were armed, meaning somebody had a weapon. 13 of those were strong armed, where somebody physically took information or took property from somebody, overcoming their resistance. So we had 32 of those. Please again be vigilant and start to employ some of those tips that we gave you earlier in the meeting. to try and prevent that from happening, or make yourself a little safer, or maybe even make you less of a target in general. And then we have our aggravated assaults. It's anything from someone getting shot to someone pointing a weapon at somebody, all the way down to strangulations, child abuses, batteries, threats, and everything in between. We had 16 shootings, we had 17 pointing and aimings, we had 5 substantial batteries, meaning someone either broke an arm or lost a tooth or had to get stitches, so it's a pretty significant injury coming from an assault. We had 7 battery while arms, we had 1 battery cutting, 1 recklessly endangering safety, or 19 recklessly endangering safety. We had 14 incidents where strangulation was reported, and we had 1 child abuse. And as you can see in those maps, the crime is spread all over the district. There's not one particular spot where we're having more or less. So as you can see, our district is busy trying to be in all those places, trying to prevent as best we can some of these crimes from happening. And again, we appreciate and really rely on your help as witnesses and as people taking measures into their own hands to be less of victims and to help prevent future crimes from happening. And that kind of concludes our crime and safety. Our next one will be December 1st, 2020. It's virtual at this time. It's a Tuesday evening. At some point, we will go back to regular in-person crime and safety meetings, but I don't know when that's going to be. Generally, ours are held on Tuesdays, and they are at 5:30 p.m. That will be the same for December 1st, 2020. This one got pushed because of the election, so we gave you an extra week to kind of maybe decompress from all the political anxiety that we've had, and hopefully we appreciate that you were able to take time out of your day to join us. We encourage everyone to join the District 5 Facebook and Twitter accounts. There's lots of information that is tweeted out and that is shared on Facebook regarding our events, crime and safety, and other news and information that we believe is important for you to have. So we encourage all of you to do that. And as always, we welcome feedback. Honest, objective feedback that you have, any questions that you have, any concerns that you have, if you can send those to the email addresses that we have posted here that you can see, and we will try and get back to you as soon as we possibly can with any answers or to the questions that you have, and any feedback that you might have, and we welcome that. So thank you again for joining us. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us. I apologize for the virtual nature of this meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to see all of you in person soon. Thank you and good night.